Now at 9, it was a scary sight for thousands of people in parts of our viewing area.
Oh my God, look! Look, it's swirling, you see it?
A tornado touching down in Selma and Winchester last week, then crossing state lines into Ohio.
We got high winds, we got stuff blowing everywhere.
Mother Nature tossing cars in the air and ripping houses apart. Some buildings completely flattened and unrecognizable.
Days later, multiple towns are now in recovery mode, picking up the pieces and coming together as one community.
We'll be here to support this community until you say that you did that you got it.
You've got people everywhere coming through asking if you need food and water or anything. And I mean, there's just so many people around that's trying to help.
Our team is on the ground talking to people, some who lost everything. Our in-depth looked at communities affected and the path moving forward.
There's a way to continue on.
This is NewsLink, Indiana.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Thursday night, March 14th, the National Weather Service alerted Delaware County of an extreme tornado warning. The F3 tornado touched down in Delaware County and moved southeast to Randolph County. Now affected communities are in recovery mode. Thank you for inviting us in tonight. I'm Abby Urban.
And I'm Daniel Hochsteller. That's what we're going to begin with tonight. The tornado hit Selma, Indiana as an EF2. It formed 1 mile outside of Selma. The damage made to the town involved broken trees, torn house sidings, and missing roofs. The community has begun picking up the pieces together.
Our weather team has been out in the field reporting since Thursday night. For some, the storm jargon may be confusing. Our Jack Van Meter is in Selma and has the explanation and science behind the tornado.
Hard to believe that just 4 days ago, a tornado touched down here in Selma, Indiana. We're currently on East Jackson Street in Selma, and behind me, we can just see one of the many houses that were affected by this storm. So we turn around, we can see that the roof has been ripped completely off of this house. We also note that windows have been busted through as well, and that's exactly the type of damage that the National Weather Service was looking for this weekend when they were doing their storm reports. When the National Weather Service learns that a tornado has touched down, they come into town and they look at damage to see how strong this tornado was, because obviously nobody's going to be here to manually take wind measurements. So when they came here, they concluded that the wind measurements were around 130 miles an hour, rating this storm an EF2 tornado. Now, EF2 tornadoes can fall from a range of 110 miles an hour all the way up to 135 miles an hour. So this storm actually was only 5 miles an hour short from being an EF3 that tore through Selma, Indiana. So a pretty high-end storm. On East Jackson here, we can see there's extensive damage running down to cars, RVs, houses, and a lot of property is damaged as well. Thankfully, there are a lot of recovery efforts that are going on right now, so we do have that to be thankful for. In Selma, Jack Van Meter, NewsLink, Indiana.
As the storm moved from Selma to Winchester, it advanced to an EF3. The city has begun taking steps to clean up the damage caused from the storm. NewsLink Indiana's Sawyer Osman is live with us in Winchester tonight.
And I'm standing here on the property that belongs to the Church of Christ here in Winchester. And as you can see behind me, debris is left behind and perishables all over the entire property. And this is actually right across the street from the Goodwill and the Taco Bell that also faced major destruction from that storm here on Thursday. But volunteers and communities from near and far are taking it into their own matters to rebuild the city.
Piles of books laying amongst the rubbish belonging to Winchester's Church of Christ left behind from Thursday's destructive storm. The home to Sunday services facing mass destruction from the EF3 tornado that swept through the city. The church, along with the Taco Bell, Goodwill, and the Walmart, was one of those hundreds of buildings significantly damaged. Now, the impact is inspiring volunteers to help repair the city of Winchester.
Hey, it's a great opportunity for these students and for us adults that are on here as well. Anytime you can give back to the community or to someone else, rather than look out for your own interests, we're doing exactly what God called us to do.
The damage caused by the storm led the Riverhawks for Christ disaster response team out of Oklahoma to travel 15 hours from their hometown to come and serve the Indiana community. 15 student volunteers from Northeastern State University and local high schools around the area came to support and clean up the remains that were left behind. I spoke with a student from the Riverhawk for Christ membership team who shared with me that the Winchester community has been in good spirits amidst the disaster.
We want them to know that there's hope out there and that this is a horrible tragedy that's happened and there's so many people that are impacted by it, but there is a redeemer and there's a way to continue on. So
the ministry's response team has served out in Texas, Kentucky, and their home state of Oklahoma in response to disastrous tornadoes.
Christ Ministry Group said that they will be here until Thursday to help clean up some of the area. And live in Winchester, Sawyer Osman, NewsLink, Indiana.
Thank you so much, Sawyer. Delaware and surrounding counties have been promoting ways to help repair communities.
Meanwhile, in Ohio, residents are beginning to assess the damage to their homes and businesses. Our Alex Almanza reports from one of the hardest hit areas that's beginning its long road to rebuilding.
Yep, there it is.
For the last couple of years, Elmer Miller has lived and worked in Logan County, Ohio as a contractor.
Pull that tight. Yep.
But this time, the work he's doing to waterproof roofs of homes and businesses is free of cost to those who need it most.
By the grace of God, we're still alive.
Somebody's got to give back to the community. It's a very traumatic thing they're going through. So I believe, with me being able to do what I'm able to do, why not help them out when they're in need?
Nancy Brentlinger has called the village of Lakeview home for over 50 years and says she's never seen anything compared to the damage left behind by this deadly storm.
As soon as I hit the living room, I heard it sound like my roof was coming off.
What did you do?
Hit the floor.
But even though the community is dealing with a great sense of loss and the road to rebuilding will be long, she's grateful for the amount of help that they've received so far.
You've got people everywhere coming through asking if you need food and water or anything. And I mean, there's just so many people around that's trying to help.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine said nothing could have prepared him for the amount of damage he saw.
This Indian Lake community will come back. And that's the message I got from everybody. We will be back. We are coming back.
In Logan County, Ohio, Alex Almanza, NewsLink, Indiana.
The Red Cross provides aid and support towards areas affected by natural disasters. They offered immediate assistance such as shelter, food, water, and medical aid to those affected by the tornado in Selma and Winchester last week. Additionally, they work to help with long-term recovery efforts like providing mental health support and offering resources to help communities recover and become more resilient in the face of future disasters. Their presence has been noted to be valued by communities. They bring hope and relief to those who have been impacted by the devastation of the tornado.
Saturday, the Red Cross volunteers were out in the affected areas. We were out conducting damage assessment, and we're continuing to survey the damage. Our workers are out distributing snacks and water to the residents in the community that were affected in Selma and in Winchester. We're handing out meals with the help of partners of ours. We've served over 1,200 meals currently. And we're also handing out disaster emergency supplies such as tarps, rakes, gloves, trash bags, other items that people could possibly use in doing the cleanup.
For more information on volunteering, go to redcross.org/volunteer or call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
And we have continuing coverage of the cleanup in both Selma and Winchester. Stay with us both on air and online at ballstatedaily.com. Our thoughts go out to those affected by these storms. Now over to Ian Kowalski for our first look at weather.
Well, right now it's been very cold across the state of Indiana. 31 degrees in Muncie, 32 in Indianapolis, right around that freezing mark, leading to some snow flurries scattered around, especially Delaware County right here in Muncie, Indiana. And it's partly due to the fact that we've really cooled down over these past 24 hours. -6 degrees here in Muncie, -7 down in Shelbyville. And if you stick around for the rest of the show, I have a lot more weather to talk about because we're going to be talking about these very strong winds returning later this week. Clear skies during the midweek as well as rain returning as well as we head into the weekend.
Today, President Joe Biden spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for the first time in more than a month. According to the White House, the leaders discussed the importance of getting more humanitarian aid into Gaza. President Biden is also believed to have raised concern about the pending Israeli operation in Rafah, where more than 1 million Palestinian civilians have sought shelter. The rift between the two leaders have grown in recent months due to differences related to getting humanitarian aid to Gaza.
U.S. citizens trying to evacuate from Haiti are getting some help from the State Department. Sunday, the first charter flight with more than 30 U.S. citizens took off from Haiti and landed in Miami. The State Department says it will continue the flights and help U.S. citizens out as long as it can. However, government officials say security in Haiti is unpredictable and dangerous as gang violence takes over the island nation.
Gang violence continues to make the security situation in Haiti untenable, and it is a region that demands our attention and action.
The crisis there began escalating early this month as rival gangs began staging coordinated attacks.
Up next, see how one Ball State department is celebrating Women's History Month.
And how an over-the-counter medicine is making history online. All that and more after the break.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Welcome back. March is Women's History Month, and the Department of Women's Gender and African American Studies are keeping alive a tradition to help celebrate it.
Our Emma Metlock reports.
According to the National Women's History Museum, Women's History Month was started as Women's History Week in 1978. In 1987, Congress passed a law that designated March as Women's History Month.
Women's History Month is an important opportunity to highlight the contributions of women locally, regionally, nationally.
While Jones says she thinks it is important to celebrate the achievements and accomplishments of women all year long, it's very important to have a month built on it.
It was founded at a time when most history books were filled with men and ignored the contributions of women, and that's why it was founded. And even today, you'll find it's sometimes difficult to get women's contributions acknowledged.
Ball State is contributing to the sense of belonging by hosting a week-long Women's Week, which is organized by the Department of Women's, Gender, and African American Studies. For Jones, Women's Week was a big factor when looking for a place to call home.
That one of the things that made coming to Ball State to work here that was very appealing to me is what I had learned about Women's Week, and I thought I would like to be at a place that has a Women's Week.
Smith says that Women's Week is a Ball State tradition. According to a press release from the university, Women's Week will include panel discussions, workshops, and more. In Muncie, Emma Matlock, NewsLink, Indiana.
Women's Week will be from March 25th to the 29th.
And President Biden has signed a new executive order Monday to support women's health research.
The White House says the order will prioritize women's health across federal agencies. That includes looking at gaps in federal funding when it comes to health issues that affect women, such as menopause, arthritis, and heart disease. Biden has repeatedly signaled that reproductive health is a key part of his re-election campaign.
For the first time in U.S. history, online orders have begun for over-the-counter birth control pills. There are no age restrictions and no prescriptions necessary. Healthcare experts say this marks a major milestone in access to contraception in the United States. Online sales began this morning for Opill via the drug maker's website and Amazon.com. Approved by the FDA last year, the company says Opill is 98% effective at preventing pregnancy when taken as directed at the same time every day. Following the online launch, Opill is expected to hit shelves later this month at major retailers and pharmacies, including Walgreens and CVS.
Well, right now it's quite cold across Indiana. Check out later to see if the snow will continue throughout the week.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try and to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm missing this. Okay, Grandma. I see you.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you, your community, and loved ones protected. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Can't believe you're doing this alone.
I've done it before.
I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone, that's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
It's quite cold across Indiana right now, and you might have even noticed some snow flurries around Delaware County because we're at 31 degrees up here in Muncie, 32 in Indianapolis, 36 down there towards the south in Evansville. Perfect conditions for some light snow at this time. And right now, it's starting to finally exit around Delaware County along the rest of the east of the state. And we're going to continue to see tomorrow some very interesting conditions because while that snow moves out of the area, we're going to start to see some gusts, but not before we cool down. 29 degrees at 11 p.m., 27 degrees at 2 a.m., 24 at 5 a.m. And right here, you're going to see these 18-mile-per-hour gusts towards 5 a.m. And that's going to set the tone for tomorrow. But let's not forget about today because it was very cold. 34 degrees was today's high, very far away from our average high for this time of year of 52 degrees, far away from a record high in 2012 of 78 degrees as well. That shorts weather from last week is far gone, and that starts tonight. 24 degrees will be our low with snow flurries throughout the night heading towards midnight. And again, south-southwest winds at 13 miles per hour and those strong 18-mile-per-hour gusts. And that's going to set the tone for tomorrow because while we're going to start to see those clouds dissipate and we're going to see sunny skies, it's still going to be quite cold despite those warmer temperatures because of these strong gusts. 25 at 8 a.m., 38 at noon, 53 at 5 p.m. But you're going to see those strong gusts, 32 miles per hour at noon, 31 at 5 p.m. Very windy throughout the day. So you're still going to want to dress for cold weather. Bring some pants, bring a wind jacket as well. And on our precision cast right now, again, we're looking at the snow starting to move out of the area all throughout Delaware County. And part of that is because as the jet stream moves towards the middle of the week, we're going to see it the conditions start to warm a little bit, especially as you head towards the weekend, while we're on the green side, the warmer temperatures of the jet stream as opposed to the lighter blue towards the north. And that's going to lead to some much better conditions for being outside. Looking at our precision cast, you're going to see these clouds are going to start to move out of the area. You're going to get some more sunlight as we head into the midweek. It's going to get much more pleasant, and as you head towards Friday and Saturday, you're going to see the rain-snow line right here. Snow to the north of Muncie, but a bunch of rain coming in. Definitely going to want to stay prepared for that as you head into the weekend, and if you make any plans at all as we head into these next couple of days. But the midweek should be quite nice, and I would dress appropriately. You can see here, again, windy on Tuesday, 54 degrees, 30% chance of showers on Friday, 51, cooling down a little bit, 45 on Saturday, and again, watch out for those weekend showers. Another chance, 20% on Sunday evening, transitioning into Monday of a 60% chance of showers. And guys, let me tell you, I'm a little heartbroken because I'm starting to feel like the best days of our weather are behind us for this season.
You know, if there's anything I've learned about Indiana weather is that we get whiplash.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of whiplash. I know we were talking about this earlier. Daniel does not like snow, and today we had lots of it, little flurries.
Yeah, you know, Abby, I may sound like a broken record, but I just don't like the snow and the cold, and I'm jealous of the people that are in Florida right now, so.
Well, thank you so much, Ian.
Thank you.
There's still basketball left to play for one Ball State squad, and another is flying high to victory. All this and more, next in sports.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy, that's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up, and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed. But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows. Ooh.
My lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jake Dickman with sports. Ball State women's basketball season is not officially over. After their loss to Kent State in the MAC tournament semifinals, the Cardinals have accepted an invite to the inaugural NCAA Women's Basketball Invitational Tournament. The Cards are a 4 seed in the 32-team field. This is the first year for the WBIT as a consolation tournament to March Madness created by the NCAA to rival the WNIT. Ball State will play host to Belmont in Worthen Arena this Thursday. A tip-off time, however, is yet to be determined. Senior days often mark goodbyes to a home arena, but one Ball State program isn't saying goodbye just yet. NewsLink Indiana's Jake Garcia heads down to Worthen Arena for more.
A bittersweet moment for Ball State gymnastics as they celebrate Senior Day. The Cards able to take down the Eastern Michigan Eagles to close out the regular season over the weekend. Senior Hannah Ruthberg touches on what the day meant to her and the rest of the squad.
It means the world, and I think it's going to give us a little bit of fire heading into MAC weekend, especially since we have a couple training days. The senior night, the win, and all of the seniors getting recognized here, I think that really motivates us and makes us feel ready to go.
Head coach Joanna Salim speaks on how important the recognition is, but also the key of keeping focus.
Let's not get caught up too much in the emotion part of it, and we get to compete here next week too. But being able to be recognized for the legacy that they're leaving and all the hard work that they have put in over the last 4 years, of course that's something that absolutely needs to be done.
Although the regular season has come to a close, the Cardinals will look to take to the skies one last time as they prepare for the MAC championship.
When we focus on doing what we do every day, the win happens at the end. It's important for us not to focus on the uncontrollables, but to focus on everything we can control.
Ball State continues to focus on one day at a time and plans to execute each time they hit the floor.
Obviously, we want to win. That is definitely a goal. But at the end of the day, what we have control over is how we come out and how we perform. So we have done that, and I think that is a huge confidence builder as you're heading into MAC championships.
The Cardinals will look to give their seniors one final fond farewell as the MAC championship is set for Saturday, March 23rd in Worthen Arena. In Muncie, Jake Garcia, NewsLink, Indiana.
Baseball in action over the weekend against Bowling Green. The Cardinals look to bounce back from a heavy defeat. NewsLink Indiana's Dakota Atwood joins us with more. Dakota?
Thanks, Jake. After losing Saturday to the Falcons 34-8, the Cardinals look to avoid being swept at home for the first time all season. Ball State looks to steal a game at home against a very hot Falcons team. Manager Rich Maloney feels his group is in a bit of a rut.
It's like we're in a team funk right now, and that sometimes happens. You got to grind the only way you get out of it is you got to keep competing, grind it out, and then the tide can turn, but you got to grind it out.
The Cardinals did not avoid being swept. They dropped this one 8-15. Coach Maloney looks for his squad to tap into their potential.
We didn't play up to our potential by no means. We left a lot on the table. So you got to tip your head out to them. We ran into a hot team, and then we were still trying to find ourselves, I guess. So we got some work to do for sure. We're definitely a lot better team than we've been playing like of late here, and we're just going to have to grind it out.
There were bright spots in the team's performance, as Maloney knows only one way to keep the team fighting.
Only so much there's not much you can say. I mean, we got whooped, and we got to fight back. The guys got to stay together. They got to fight back.
The Cardinals are on the road all week and will be tested, but make their way back home at Ball Diamond March 26th against Southern Indiana.
Well, guys, it's March. This weather is madness. That can only mean one thing. It's bracket time, March Madness. I got UConn going all the way. What about you guys?
When I make my brackets, it depends. Usually I pick colors and or mascots, but I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I got UConn too, but it'll be random for me. I'm not gonna try. That's my strategy.
We're kind of basic with UConn, but hey, they're the best team.
Well, thank you so much, Jake. And we'll be going into break with one final look at weather.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back, and we're going to look at one final weather with Ian.
Yep, well, it's certainly going to be quite cool as we head into the midweek. Windy on Tuesday, 43 and 42 on Thursday. Watch out for showers much later in the week as well, as we hit a cool 45 on Saturday, 52 on Sunday, warming up a bit, but with more chances of showers on Sunday and Monday.
Well, thank you so much, Ian. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.